rotate. Watch the niggas on your back as you rotate. Hypnotized by your thighs as you rotate. Girl, I love your little ways as you rotate. Drive me crazy as you rotate. Shorty craving a sandwich. I'm on your road tonight. Way I'm feeling you up, girl. You only want more sides. Need some sexual healing. See when you right. I can tell that you like me. When you hold me tight. Right stroke, left stroke, be the best stroke. Fast and slow, mind till you explode. Hitting high notes like a ghetto. Roll out, you rock something special. Hold on real tight, never let go. You blow my mind, how you went so. Switch fast, that ass is so fast. Grab you by your waistline, rotate. Watch the dimples on your back as you rotate. Hypnotized by your thighs as you rotate. Girl, I love your little ways as you rotate. Drive me crazy, rotate. Watch the dimples on your back as you rotate. Hypnotized by your thighs as you rotate. Girl, I love your little ways as you rotate. Drive me crazy as you rotate.
Come to the mall, I wanted to bring it over. They got on top of cocky like a soldier. On the way, affection past you. Let my hands right our waist, just running nigga the crew. Melanin is gold, make her shiver like she cold. One kiss down low, make her body grow slow. Oh, baby, show me what I've been missing. I rotate them hits like a spine unexisting. There ain't nobody out there gonna do it like me. Got your body on fire. Let me cool down with me. Don't come talk about you tired. Get ready for a roll. Lay your head on my chest, girl. As I rock you to sleep. Right stroke, left stroke, be the best stroke. Fast and slow, mind till you explode. Hitting high notes like a ghetto. Roll out, you rock something special. Hold on real tight, never let go. You blow my mind, how you went so. Switch fast, that ass is so fast. Grab you by your waistline, rotate. Watch the dimples on your back as you rotate. Hypnotized by your thighs as you rotate. Girl, I love your little ways as you rotate. Drive me crazy, rotate. Watch the dimples on your back as you rotate. Hypnotized by your thighs as you rotate. Girl, I love your little ways as you rotate. Drive me crazy as you rotate.
101 Hip Hop Interviews with Lil D of Rap Monster Radio. Listen online, Rap Monster Radio. We all we got.
What's up? This is your man Lil D, aka Rap Monster, back up in the building with another one-on-one interview. Today we got something special for y'all. We got the sales manager, Jace, from Church Street Brewing Company in Chicago. They be brewing beer. As a matter of fact, I need to go up to the refrigerator and get my beer. What's going on with you, Jay?
Well, man, just at the brewery right now.
True indeed, true indeed. You said you're at the brewery. Let them know where the brewery's located, what you got going on, and where they can find you online.
So we're out in Itasca, just west of O'Hare, in the suburbs of Chicago. Right now we're making our Pilsner right now, which is our gluten-free beer. So all day we've had people brewing and canning and rearranging kegs. You can check us out on Facebook. We're on Instagram. We're on Twitter. We got a churchstreetbrew.com. It's our website.
Okay. True indeed. First thing I want to know is the history behind Church Street Brewing.
Sure, yeah.
Guys like making beer in their basement or in their garage. Did Church Street Brewing start off as home brewers?
That's how it was, yeah. So the owner, his name is Joe Greger. Now he doesn't do any of the brewing anymore, and his wife has taken over, Lisa. So we are a female-owned and operated brewery in Chicago, which is cool. But Joe's son brought home a home brewing kit because he thought his dad needed a hobby, and Joe did it, and he fell in love with it, and then he just decided, I'm going to do this on a larger scale, and he built the brewery.
Okay. How did you get involved in the brewery business?
So I was it's funny, I was going to go be a lawyer, and I was all signed up for law school at Madison, and I decided that I enjoyed beer a lot more than I enjoyed reading. So I just went into the craft beer business, and I helped open some craft beer bars. I helped run a brew pub or two, and then I actually helped open a brewery last year, and that led to me meeting Lisa at Church Street, and they had plans to expand and it just kind of made sense. I had just kind of done a similar thing with a different brewery, and she said, "Hey, would you like to repeat that process here? Help us increase our sales, increase our tap room size, add a kitchen in, stuff like that." And I said, "Sure." Lisa's a great person to work with, so I've enjoyed myself so far.
Okay. How do you go from selling beer locally in Chicago to being distributed in places like Bermuda?
So it's crazy because, people call us all the time. We'll be at the brewery and the phone will go off, and you just never know who's going to be on the other end. One day, somebody in Florida just called us up, Vintage Distribution down in Destin, and said, "Hey, we would love to start distributing your beer down here." And so we said, "Yeah, why not?" So we send beer down to Destin, and from there they send it out everywhere. Lisa has a kid that went to school out in Kentucky, and their kids wanted to drink their beer while they were at school. So we contacted the distributor in Kentucky, and now we sell beer in Kentucky once a year. So it's kind of interesting how that works.
How does I know there's a lot of brands online using social media. What kind of advice could you give to anyone, not necessarily brewery companies, but anyone trying to use social media and building their brand? What kind of advice could you give them from experience?
I think social media is the primary focus you should have with your marketing team. It's primarily free, and what isn't free is very cheap, and it can reach everybody. And if you do it right, you can see a drastic change in just your amount of sales, the amount of people who visit in. The cool thing that actually happened last night is we have, in the past, we've made a big push in the last couple of months since I've come on as sales director to really push our social media. And last night, some guy came in the tap room and said, "Hey, have you guys done anything new lately? Because I just keep seeing you guys everywhere on the internet." So it kind of gives people this idea that you're doing things better and bigger if they're seeing you on social media and on the internet, and people start talking about it. And if they're talking about you, they're going to buy your product. And, it keeps you trending, and it keeps you just kind of hip. You don't start collecting dust. So I think it's incredibly important to be on all platforms of social media.
Okay. How does independent company like Church Street Brewing Company survive or gain success when companies like you got Miller Coors or Anheuser-Busch out here flooding the market with their campaigns and they water down brands? How do you maintain?
So really, our competition isn't with the big guys. The people who buy the big guys are doing it because they've been doing it for 50 years. We're probably not going to steal a lot of their loyal customers. Our competition is actually other craft breweries. There's so many craft breweries that are popping up. I think I heard that there's 2 new craft breweries in the Chicagoland area like every month or so. So that's insane. And it really puts a lot of pressure to get shelf space in places like Benny's or in other off-site retail stores. Their shelves, their stores aren't getting bigger, but there's more and more brands that they're trying to pull on. So really our competition is our local breweries, and people are now starting, instead of going bar hopping, they're going brewery hopping. So getting them to include your brewery in that brewery hop and getting them to stay here for one more beer. It's all about the experience in the tap room. A lot of breweries are moving towards having kitchens to keep people around. And it's all about, like I said, just staying relevant. Everybody loves the next new big thing. So recently we just changed all of our marketing over from bottles that had the same logo, just different colors for different beers, to individual artwork for every single beer that we have, so that when it's on the shelf, it really pops with color, and it kind of makes a brand of its own, just the beer. It represents itself.
Yeah, sitting here, I'm looking at the logo for Devil's Advocate. How many different kind of beers do you guys have?
I mean, in the tap room at any one time, we'll have 9 of them on draft with another 20 or so in bottles that you can take with you. But we've made well over 40 unique brands of beer or styles of beer. And we also do what's called contract brewing, where we're a large system here. So people who have much smaller systems and need to make, they have like a really good recipe, but they need a larger system to brew it on, they'll come in, they'll give us the recipe, and we'll brew that for them as well. So not only do we make our own beer, but we make a lot of other beers for local Chicago people, the Chicago breweries. So yeah, we've made hundreds and hundreds of styles of beers.
Okay. Who's responsible for the artwork? Is that one artist or a combination of artists?
Yeah, it's the thing that's really nice about Church Street is we're very family kind of orientated. We love our community. We give back to our community a lot. And it's kind of like a village raising the brewery. You know, for the longest time, we had a lot of volunteers that would come in, and they all brought unique characteristics and traits to the brewery. But one of them was one of our brewers, his fiance, actually does all the artwork. And then we have somebody else that makes it digital, and then somebody else that colors it in. So all of our artwork is actually made by 3 different people, and they're all doing it just to help out the brewery, which is really nice.
Okay. How big is the company?
It is definitely a large space. We're just under 20,000 square feet for the brewery. The brewing system itself is 30 barrels. We have 14 30-barrel fermenters. A barrel obviously is 2 kegs, so we can make 60 kegs at a time. We have a tap room that takes about a fourth of our brewing space up. We have 9 beers on tap, plus a visitor draft from one of the other breweries that we create beer for. They're always represented as well. So we're pretty large.
Okay. Sounds like a plan. I think I was reading something about you got a 21st America's Food and Beverage Show. We missed that. That's upcoming, September the 20th. That's all. My bad. There. I'm sitting there going over some of these press releases you guys got, looking at things. I like the packaging from the beer. I like the beer as well. I'm sitting here drinking Devil's Advocate. What makes it?
You know, that's my favorite, actually. That one's my favorite.
Okay, tell us why. Why is Devil's Advocate your favorite?
So I love Belgian beers. You know, everybody has their style of beer that they really like. But for me, any Belgian beer is a good beer, because what makes it Belgian is not anything except for the yeast. The yeast you use is very specific Belgian yeast. So even if you make a red ale or an IPA or, I don't know, just a pale ale, if you're using Belgian yeast, it's now going to become a Belgian red or a Belgian IPA or a Belgian pale. And so I just always love the flavor that the yeast gives that beer. If you're drinking it right now, you probably taste a little bit of sweetness in the beer. That's actually not sugar whatsoever. That's coming straight from the yeast. Our Devil's Advocate boils down or brews down to about 0 gravity, meaning it has no sugars in it when it's left. Instead, there's just actual yeast that's giving off that flavor, and I just can't get away from Belgian yeast, man. I love it.
Okay, cool. Give us something interesting of what Church Street Brewing's got coming up in the future. What's going to happen here?
Well, so you were talking about press releases. One of the coolest things we did, and you'll appreciate this being a media guy yourself, is we collaborated with a local radio station, Q101, WKQX, and we made a Belgian IPA. It's called Q Street. So it's Church Street and Q101 mix. And we're announcing that at the Cubby Bear on the 21st as its official release party. And it's really cool because if you carry that beer at a bar in Chicago, your bar is represented on the radio. They do a lot of festivals and events. We were able to give out a lot of tickets with this partnership. So we've sent people to the Foo Fighters and Wrigley, to Lollapalooza, the Riot Fest, and we're going to work on getting represented at those festivals as well. So that's pretty big for us.
Hey, cool indeed. All right, Jake, it's been a pleasure talking to you.
Absolutely.
Are there any questions I didn't ask you or that you would like to ask?
I was hoping you were going to ask me for my nickname. Since we were going to do this interview, the guys in the brewery said that I should call myself Little Yeasty, just kind of fit in, you know. So
Yeasty,
Little Yeasty.
I'm calling you. You might want to let them know that you're in the beer business before you let them know your name. Little Yeasty.
Little Yeasty, exactly.
Okay, that's a good one. Tell the guys that was a good one.
All right, cool. I'll let them know.
All right, let them know where they can find you online, Church Street Brewing online, one more time, Jay.
Yeah, churchstreetbrew.com. And then from there, you can find us on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. We're on everything.
Okay, with that being said, it's been a pleasure talking to you and you taking time out of your busy schedule to kick it with us. Until next time, this is Lil D, a.k.a. Rap Monster, and Jace from Church Street Brewing. And we're going to say, peace.
Follow us on Twitter @RapMonster. Save us to your favorites and tell a friend.
Tough love is the feeling when I think of you. Lonely nights, petty fights, all the shit you put me through. Had enough of crying, eventually was dying. Save you with your right hand, cause steady lying. Text in your phone, say you sleeping home alone. Club hopping in your zone, nigga know you dead wrong. Who you think you playing with? Game, recognized game. Till I pulled up on your stunting for these streets you say frontin'. Now you got so much to say. Boy, please, wasn't thinking about me. Putting holes on their knees. Now you wanna talk French. We this, we that. We're the floors of outreach is only one who had your back. Now the chips are looking high. Got you acting fly. Hands up in my face, not the one you want to try. Nigga told you from the door. Business route before. But you didn't listen, time to even the score.
I've been set on fire, I've been burned, I've been broken, I've been hurt. Trying my best to make it work. I didn't want to know what